Whatever. It's Wednesday, my dudes! And despite the technical difficulties and the production gremlin, the show must go on because tonight we are talking to the world's newest toy tubers. We've got Agent Variant and Superqool from the Show and Tell podcast with us tonight. They just launched their show on Monday, so they're coming off fresh. And because Marky Mark likes to make some really fun accents and do cool voices, I'm going to steal a page out of his book and say, Marky, to the intro! I tried.
Oh.
I do what I can, you know?
How's it going?
Oh, super. It's super. It's super cool. It's super cool. It is Wednesday, my dudes, and welcome to episode 57 of Between Two Sentinels. I'm struggling J-Shot. But with me always is the ever professional and super crisp and super clean Machu.
For
How do you
now.
do, Machu? For now,
Until something goes on. I'm all right. I'm good.
You doing okay?
Yeah.
Right. You can complain if you want. You know, I don't know if anybody's gonna listen, but you can complain. I'm gonna try to pull up the chat here because I am doing this off my phone because why the hell not?
Do that. I'll do that. I got
it. We got some cool stuff going on. We did promise a merch reveal tonight as well, so that should be fun. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. What do you want to talk about first?
How about let's hit up the chat.
Hit up the chat. All right, you're
Yeah.
gonna have to really. Let's see.
Uncanny Sculpt. Let's go.
Okay, Uncanny Sculpts. It's got some new stuff coming out too. I saw, right? Okay, I got the chat. It's I got it through YouTube, so I'm gonna be behind. But I think we're in good shape because we are way behind anyway. So what's the difference?
Yeah, we're good.
We can't get any later. So Andrew's chat saying, "Yay, Toy Renzu hitting us with the
Sup, Knights."
We got Don checking in saying he made it in time. Josh Brown hitting us with the fist bump and the knives out for the Tuesday crew. I guess Wade had some problems last night too, so maybe it's not just us. Winger Loses here saying hello. Henrock says sup Sentinels. Paul Morales is here. Hello everybody. Gotta scroll. We got Josh Brown is here. Toy Chase, what's up, people? Hashtag Toy Mayor Crew in the house. Let's see. Toy Chase. Boy, he's busy tonight. Well, it is an election year, so he's got to really make.
Oh yeah, he's the mayor. He's got to.
So
yeah.
Chubsy Wubsy saying he's hitting us with the fixing the censor button. What's up, Ben? Oh no, Chewing is here. I skipped right over him. What's up, Chewing? Disavowed is here. We've been going back and forth. He's really pushing for us to go to ZoloCon, so we should. I guess we should really consider that. Let's see who else we got.
We got Prime.
Prime is here. Prime and I finally have beef. I feel like I've been accepted into the toy community.
Oh, finally!
We finally have beef. It was a proud moment yesterday. I told them I was going to print it out and put it on my fridge. My wife is very confused as to what this means. But anyway, oh look, Agent Variant's in the chat. That's nice of him to be here in the chat too. And what's this? Pink?
Easy Toy Hunters Guild.
Easy Toy Hunters Guild. I missed that one. See, I'm trying. I'm doing the best I can. If I miss somebody, I do apologize. Pink Pick saying evening, gentlemen. I don't know when the gentleman will be here, but it is evening. And TWT Figgy. That's a new name.
That's a new name.
Welcome to the madness, I guess. Let's watch it unfold. Can only go up, right?
So you mentioned merch reveal?
Yes. Put it up on my story the other day. It's a big old bag of merch. And I think they came out pretty awesome. But we have new Between Two Sentinels patches. And they are not iron-on. So you gotta get what? No, I'm showing the back that they're not iron-on.
Okay.
So they're not iron-on. They are sew on. So get your sewing needles out. There is apparently a variant that is floating around of J-Shot without a beard. which I think is kind of weird. So here's the regular one, and then here's Babyface. So there's that one. But yeah, it's pretty awesome that we got these in. A couple people messaged me already saying they thought they were cool. I guessed that what they were, so we're gonna ship a few out to those people. But want to take kind of polls of the chat if you guys would be interested in these or other merch. We're gonna start thinking about that kind of stuff. We have Tom writes merchandising.
There you go.
That's it. So yeah, if you guys are interested, hit us up. We were thinking what, $6? $6 plus shipping, 2 for $10 maybe. I don't know. If you guys want them, put them on your leather jackets, on your denim jackets. Everything old is new again. Put them on your backpacks. Maybe get a pair of Jenko jeans. I don't know. So Josh Brown says he's a sucker for variants, so we can get both. And we got a variant with us tonight too. So I'm in the process of trying to come up with some new merch ideas too. All right, Uncanny. Oh yeah, he needs something to throw his axe out. Prime, you got it, man. I'll get you. You get your bunch. You buy a bunch of them. Buy them in bulk. You can throw all the axes.
Maybe we should make put our heads on bullseyes.
That's a terrible idea, but we could do that too. Why not?
I mean, you haven't made it until you made a few haters, right?
That's right. Yeah. So the question just becomes who buys that first.
Yes.
Prime or Yoko. So we'll see. Anyway, we went to Toy Show on Saturday. Do you want to share your haul or some of your favorite pickups?
I actually did not get that many figures at that time. Let me get her. I just got I got the McFarlane Wonder Woman, even though I was painting a Marvel Legends Wonder Woman. I mean, Power Princess. I'm sorry, Power Princess.
Yes, Power Princess. Yes. So, how many? Marvel,
I think she's great. I don't really like the knees, but hey, we don't really have a comic Wonder Woman.
Sure.
In the McFarlane line, they're all variants, so I'll take it.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
All variants. Variants seems to be the word of the day. If this is PB's Playhouse, we'd be going nuts. I had a lot of firsts this weekend. Bought my very first wrestling figure, which of course is Andre the Giant in a suit, because why not? And anytime I see him, I still think, anybody want a peanut? So that's where I go to. And then
you were kind of not in character this weekend because you bought a wrestling figure and you bought McFarlane.
Not one McFarlane, my friend, but 2 McFarlane
of the same character.
And by the way, I know nothing about this character, but here is Captain Carrot. And then I also bought the Captain Carrot variant because why the hell not?
Right.
And I went down a bit of a rabbit hole last night. See what I did there? In trying to figure out who this character is. And his name is Rodney Rabbit. And he's basically like that Earth Superman. So I finally like a Superman character. Yeah.
Yoko's chiming in.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we're not looking for haters, Yoko, but I mean, if you're offering, So Prime said, look, Prime's laughing, rabbit hole. See, I thank you. Appreciate that. Somebody appreciates my humor.
I was laughing on the inside. I'm just trying to manage the chat, the show.
Yeah, you got to do a lot tonight. I'm just going to sit back and sip my water.
Dom said that's figure of the year, by the way.
All right. Was that last year, though, figure of the year?
Captain Carrot?
Yeah. Would it technically be Carrot like last year when it came out, or was it released this year?
I don't know. Omega Weapon 13 said get the Ultimate Edition Andre. Yeah, but the thing is, Jay Shaw was specifically looking for Andre in a suit.
Yeah, no, I wanted Andre in a suit. I feel like I will get more use out of Andre in a suit.
Yeah.
So, and Prime, he is like Spider-Man. He's his powers are basically cartoon. It literally says his powers are cartoon physics. So he could get crushed flat and bounce back and all that stuff. So, yeah, it basically is Spider-Man. So, yeah.
Let's bring in our guests. They're getting antsy in the back.
Are they? All right. Well, like we said, they just launched their new show on Monday, the Show and Tell podcast. So let's please welcome, let's see, Agent Variant, who is a seasoned toy veteran who is awesome, toy photographer veteran, and Superqool, who is best known for saying, hey, anybody got this figure for close to retail? I think what he's known best for, right? It's just every time we're in the chat, it's like, hey, anybody got this for close to retail? I don't want to overpay for it. So anyway, we joke. Right? I figured that. So thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for being patient with us. What's going on, guys? How you feeling?
Well, nice.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling way better now than I was before Monday. I'll tell you that.
George was so nervous on the podcast. Thank God that one of our sponsors, this brewery, gave us like 9.1%. And I said, if you could see me in a podcast, I was like, yeah, have some of this, my guy. This will loosen you up.
Oh yeah, I was super nervous. I mean, he's been after me to do this for ages, and I just like kept pushing it off. Finally, I was like, all right, fine, let's do this. And then when I was like, oh shit, we're gonna do this, I was like, oh no. So yeah, I was trying to get prepared, and I got to give it to Mark. Let me tell you, I've learned so much about this guy in this period of time that I had no idea.
I'm
blushing already.
Wrapped in an anomaly.
What was that, Jay? I was
gonna say, what have you learned specifically about?
You look at Mark, right? Mark is Mr. Cool, whatever, blah blah. But he is one of the quirkiest guys that I know, dude. You would not believe how quirky he is.
I gotta say, Mark, I was half expecting you to have the glasses on tonight. So I'm thankful that you don't. But I was
gonna have them. I lost.
You know what? But I bought mine just in case.
There you go.
I bought mine just in case.
Payback time.
Wait, what's on there? What's on your glasses?
Sorry, those are my kids. My kids were like decorating these glasses. I touch them and stuff just falls off. It's just like,
you need to wear that for the next episode.
I should totally wear it for the next episode. But I did learn, like I had, once I started working with him, I was like, seriously, like that's some quirky stuff. Like this is the perfect example. Is he was doing an intro, right? And he was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. And literally, like, I just learned it in like, I don't know, 10 minutes right before we're on. And I'm like,
that's not true. I sent you an email, but a very thorough email.
It's funny because I read the email, but I was like, I don't know what the hell this means. Like, but just real quick, there was a section where he wanted us to sing a song, right? On the intro, he wanted us to sing a song. And I'm like, what song? And he's singing a song, and I'm like, I don't know that song. And he's like, everybody knows that song, dude. You know that song? And I'm like, and he's singing the song, and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that song. And I'll tell you something right now. If you're trying to get us to sing some song that I don't know right now, and I was like, that ain't happening, dude. That's all you.
The song is "Hell to the Nah." It was "Hell to the Nah."
Yeah.
He knows.
I got you.
Yeah, I had never heard that song.
In the studio saying, second guessing this song, like, is it a Houston thing? Because I used to live in Texas. I'm like, am I bringing some down south stuff here that people don't know about?
But what didn't help him was that I was like, I don't know that song. And then he looks over at the producer and he goes, yeah, you know the song, blah, 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 blah. And the producer's like, I never heard that song. I'm like, hello. I was like, it ain't me, But there was no way I was gonna sing that song.
We figured it out after 20 bloopers. So.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. The bloopers just kept coming because I was like still trying to figure out what the fuck was going on.
They said save curses for. Look, the guy that curses the most of the time not to curse.
I was gonna say on the B2S bingo card, I did not have Agent Marion dropping the first F-bomb.
Sorry,
for sure.
We're
good. We're good. It's after 5 minutes. We're good.
All right, good. So I told them to at least keep it clear.
There
you go. So,
but I had
to sell pasties here. Come on.
Outside of George's sailor mouth, I mean, what's the reasoning for you guys not to actually go live, like go pre-record? What were you thinking on that end?
That was Mark's idea. And it was a great idea.
So, I think a lot of people, like, for example, George didn't know, I didn't know this side to you. So I think J-Shot knows. And obviously George knows, I'm a designer specializing in branding. So a lot of that, you're having left brain and right brain, right? So there's an administrative side to me. I'm, all logistics and being rational and you know, making sure everything's organized. And then, you know, the other side of the brain is all creative, quirky, crazy, wacky, you name it. So it's like, I'm like a two-face, you know?
Right. And just so you know, guys, I was I wanted to do the live. I said, go, let's just do it live.
Yeah, he was all about that.
I was all about the live, but go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry. I just want to let you guys know.
You know what we should do? Not alive.
The opposite of that.
Yeah, that's the opposite. No, so what I wanted, you know, from my background was, you know, I'm in marketing essentially, and I said I want to invest in a studio, so we have like we're gonna produce the crap out of this thing, and you know, I wanted to give us the ability to promote it, to market it, to, you know, put together a whole system behind it, so that, you know, you feel like when you're hopping into the Show and Tell podcast, you're hopping into essentially like a microcosm, like a little mini universe that has to do. I want to bring back basically the old school habit of having to wait for the episodes, right? So that you build the fervor, you build the hype, and it gives us more time to write. It gives us more time to segment, to be, you know, sort of like I said, administrative about it, and, you know, collect content. You know, I mean, do some content gathering. I want us to go out there. We have like ideas to do. Instead of the fast-paced cold opener, we're thinking of doing some funny, you know, intros. You know, Go Figure Goes here. What's up, man?
What's up, Go?
The master of street codes.
There you go.
So, you know, at the end of the day, I wanted to kind of bring back that old school feeling of like, you know, every Tuesday on ABC. Because one of the things I noticed.
And just so you know, like it didn't really dawn on me until later on as we started working on stuff and everything. I was like, you know what, this is actually a great idea. We're not going to go live. We're going to take our time. We're going to do it right. You know, and I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot from this one episode. Just doing this one episode. After the episode, I was like, oh, damn. Like, you know, it's because, you know, you watch it and you're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, there's method to my madness. So
yeah. And on top of that, I think a lot of people, you know, we got a lot of great feedback from just this first episode. And I don't mean like people with ideas, or people said, oh, you know what, I like how you did this, and you know, maybe you should do that. And so little by little, I was like, oh man, this is great. And I mean, it's not horrible, it's not the best, but like now we know that all the other episodes should just get better. That's our goal.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
the goal was to get that first episode done, because especially, you know, George was nervous. I think he was overthinking. You know, we're both designers, but we're in two different worlds. Like, I'm more free range, and he's more like, you know, stuck inside. He's in the Matrix. I'm out there. Pills, man, take the pill.
That is one thing that George and I have in common. We are both you know, creatives in the corporate world, so we have a box that we have to live in, and hence the creation of this. So, you know,
so the other thing is that, you know, from the feedback afterwards, people were like, oh, this is great because I can listen to it and watch it whenever I want.
Right.
You know, they feel like, oh, now that, you know, they don't have to be stuck to a certain place or whatever. They're just like, we're gonna watch it whenever we want, you know. So it was good. It was good.
Good. Toy Mirth is in the house. I saw that Kevin dropped by too as well.
Alice is in the house.
Who's that? Who? Alice.
I made a reference on the podcast. There's a scene in The Outsiders that's like, there ain't no Rumble without Dallas. And I was saying that everyone in our chat, the Super Friends chat, everyone has been dropping such amazing pictures.
Oh,
and all of a sudden, Toy Mirth comes out of the blue with the left and then the right. And it's like, whoa.
He's been pumping out some pictures.
He's been leveling up for sure.
And you know, Toy Mirth is like a pretty quiet guy, and I could see him like, yes,
that's funny.
What? sounded like Professor Frank. So you guys are going to drive. So you're pre-recording every episode. You're pre-recording. And how many do you already have like kind of shot already or in the can?
So we shot this one, and we're working on the next two back to back.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So we're working on the next two back to back, and then after that, the next two that we're gonna hope to do back to back. They're not gonna be long. This one was long. It was the first one. We were testing everything out, our goal is to keep them to about 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
An hour if need be.
If needed, it's just such a fantastic podcast and just going, then, we may let it go a little bit, but
and
we're trying
the
to keep
studio where we're at, in case like there's an emergency, it's an emergency. This just in, we have the ability to hop in and record something real quick. So
nice.
Right.
Yeah,
so we can insert.
40 minutes seems like a good amount of time, especially like if you plan on it for people to watch or listen to while they commute.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's the other thing that we have to keep in mind is like, when we're showing or saying something, like we need to describe it a little more so that the person listening to it at least can understand what's going on. I can't be like, oh, this figure's fantastic, and that's it. I have to,
Yeah, that's tough too, right? Because you want to play to the visuals because it is a visual podcast, but at the same time, you are going out to Spotify and things like that, which I think is great, right? You're not limiting yourself.
Right.
TJ Williams is stopping by. But you've got to be mindful of that too. That's tough. It's a tough thing to balance. And that hour format, but I like kind of what you said there, Mark, where it was like, we're planning on sticking to 40 minutes, but if the conversation goes longer, if we're having a good show, that's what we've always said, right? Like we're going to go an hour, but if we'll never stop a good conversation, right? Like I'm certainly not going to cut anybody off midway through. So, cool. Yeah. Good, man. Yeah.
Like I was going to say also, when we first started, we did the pre-record for the first episode, and that went really long, right? Like that was over 2 hours.
Wow!
So it's like it is like a learning curve of like what's the sweet spot for the time slot, and also, originally my plan was to do pre-records, but it was J-Shot who pushed me to do lives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? And honestly, I think they both work.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna love if they're live, and everybody's gonna love if they're pre-recorded.
Bully,
you're allowed to think for yourself.
No, look, I push him to do live because for me, right, it's like it's live, it's out there, it's done.
Yeah,
that's my whole thing. Move on to the next thing.
Right,
you're not tweaking it. You're not going back. You're not reevaluating it. Right, like. For me, I'm going to go back. I'm going to rethink about everything I could have said or done differently. But there's also a point that's like, well, it's out there. I'm done. I can't do it.
And you know what? You and I think alike because it's that corporate mentality. Let's get it done. And let's go move on to the next thing.
Right. Because we're the guys who are sitting here on 19 rounds of feedback. Like, just finish it. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like Minority Report. I'm like,
yes.
Don't put yourself in a box.
And I also think Mark still has a lot because Mark lived in Texas for a while, so he still has a lot of that Texas in him. Like right before we recorded the show, we were having a conversation, and I literally had to be like, "Dude, if you say that, we're gonna be canceled. Like the first episode's gonna be gone." I was like, "Do not, whatever you do not say that." Because
I'm still here, Mark. It's okay.
He threw it out there like he was just having a normal conversation. Well, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, all right, hold on a second, dude. You are not going to say that on the podcast.
And that's why we always thank the audience at the beginning of every episode because, like, we're like, we didn't think we'd make it this far, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's honestly right. We say it at the end of every episode too, where it's like where we usually say it at the beginning, where we say. You have no one to blame but yourselves, right? Like we keep coming back. So,
exactly.
Toyatic saying congrats on the new show.
Thank you,
fellas. TJ Williams is here. Go figure. Go being very nice and reminding everybody to hit that smash and like button. And if you're not subscribed to the Machu Toy channel, make sure you are and please share it out. But also go and share and subscribe to Superqool's. It's on your channel, right? Superqool YouTube channel.
YouTube.com at Superqool with the Q. I think you were asked what's with the Q.
Yeah, I gotta ask, man. Like I've been like dying for the right opportunity to ask you, and I feel like live in front of all our friends and family, it is time to ask you what's with the Q.
It's really simple. The domain wasn't available with C. That's it. I'm just kidding.
Wow, I love stories like that, man. I love that. That's great.
No, my name is Marcus with a Q. Everyone thinks it's with a C, or unless you're Norwegian, it's with the K, Marcus. But mine's spelled with a Q, so I just added my personal flair to to the name, but also playing on that in the beginning when I was, and I still do it from time to time. I was doing quizzes like pop culture / like toys and collectible quizzes. And up until someone called my Homer that wore a ski mask as blackface, and I was like, oh no. And that's why the mascot's no longer that. It's like instead it's a DMT frog, but I don't know if that's any better,
but we got
Lago in here.
Lago's in here asking this is a virtual NJ Con, and then Yimbo says, anyone have Captain Carrot for retail? Just have a great rest of the show, pal.
Speaking of retail, I mean, I found this for retail.
Which one?
The Animal Man.
Animal? I don't even know who that. Yeah, this is another, like DC's putting out figures that I'm like, I don't even know who these are.
I don't know who he is.
It's funny, like I got this because I kind of talked about it on the podcast, and I was telling someone earlier today that I collect based on like I'm very nostalgic, right? And I think a lot of us are. But for me, since I have that designer's brain, I have the visuals constantly going in my head besides the voices. Yes, not just kidding. And so like I remember going to 96th Street where I used to live in New York City, this place called Big Apple Comics. And used to have to walk up the stairs in this cool comic book shop. And I remember I got my first my McFarlane Spider-Man covers and all the variants. I think I got the silver one, the regular one, and then I think there was like a gold one. And I remember that comic book cover of Animal Man in the cover with that weird, like monstrous hand. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's it. Like, it's like sold. Like those memories, that's what I love about the collectibles world, that now we have these tangible, figures that make us reminisce about those days once upon a time, right? Like now we have it incarnate in hand, and that's a cool feeling,
Yeah. No, I get that. I totally get that.
And by the way, I try to visit that comic book shop again. Like when I got older, went up the stairs, knocked on the door, like same routine. And when the door opened, it was all red, like a red light. And this Asian woman came out. She's like, you want extra massage? I'm like, special massage? I'm like, oh, I was like, no, this is what I had to come here for this. That's a true story, by the way.
Yeah. You're like, no, I'm looking for Animal Man. Yeah, there's Animal Man in here. Come on in here.
Hey guys,
yeah.
FYI, TWT Figgy is those wonderful toys. He's at those wonderful toys on Instagram. That's what it is. It's Ariel Figueroa.
Nice. Okay. Well, thanks for being here. And we got Henrock who showed up. You're talking about somebody who's putting out fire photos.
Yo, I'm telling you, these guys are just absolutely, I'm serious. I mean, I'm absolutely loving everything that these guys are putting out. Yeah. I mean, we got Henrock, we got Machu obviously doing his thing, Toy Murph.
Every now and then.
Yeah, Toy Lens. I don't know if you've seen Toy Lens and stuff. His
Toy Lens is good stuff.
Yeah, he got educated on 78 points of articulation.
Oh yeah,
bios.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate him. By the way, what's his first name?
I don't remember.
Oh,
78. I know he lives in Asia. I think Vietnam, and like I know he takes random trips to Japan here and there.
78 points.
Yeah. He's American, but is he an architect? He's an architect. Spends a lot. Yeah, his time. He lives in Vietnam.
Well, I appreciate. I appreciate that he took the time. He actually watched the video.
I do super awesome, man. Because my connection to him is I won a raffle. I won one of his dials. Yeah. And I loved it because when I got it, it was a weird setup at first. Like he had to ship it to like a relative, I think in Vegas or somewhere in the States. And then he was telling me the whole breakdown. I'm like, bro, did I win a dial or something else? Like, what's going on here? But when I got the dial, I haven't gotten too many dials out there from like, people that make them custom. But when I got it, I appreciate, it's the details. I got this thick dial with the magnets. But then he gives you these little cups of like paint. So if anything happened during shipping or you mess it up, you can go in and paint it again. I was like, man, I love that. I love that detail,
Yeah. No, what I even love is I got the Mirage Street dial from him. He had everything in it, right? You got like and I remember too, he was like, sorry for the delay. I wasn't happy with the pizza boxes that got printed. And you're like, pizza boxes? Like, okay, whatever. But like, everything shows up piece by piece. You get a checklist right? Like there's a checklist in there. Be like, all right, to make sure everything's
That's
there.
amazing.
Here's how to set this up. Here's how to strip this wire. Like it's almost like if a big toy company took the time and care.
Yes,
right. Like that's
exactly.
that's what he would be. So it's pretty awesome.
And the fact that he finds the time to do this while having like a real legit job,
Yeah.
And even came with. Did you get the little papers like so that you can play? What record was it? I think it was a Black Sabbath record backwards. He told me to play it backwards several times and say certain seances.
Oh no. Did yours come with the little vial of lamb's blood? No, okay. Yeah. Oh.
Again, like I said, quirky.
Yeah.
He gave me a free stamp. He said, "Just mail back your son." Your firstborn.
Gonna miss that kid.
Hostess paid. But he commented like I know Mark said something about him on a show, and I was like, oh yeah, I think he does dials. And today I commented on one of his photos, and he was like, you see, I don't only do dials.
Yeah,
which is really cool. Which is really cool.
I mean, I think one person we didn't give a shout out, he's also from Texas. Well, I don't live in Texas anymore. Simon Toast, or did I say that right?
Oh yeah.
That dude.
We met him at Legion's Con.
Yeah, he was on the show with us. Yeah,
I would have never expected like tall dude, like cool, chill. You didn't wear socks. I found that suspicious, but
Okay. Mark, it's okay. You can say what you want to say. Be like, I didn't expect him to be so cool. He was a tall white guy. Yeah, no, I get that. It's okay. So
78 points is here.
I know. 78 points. These guys again?
His pictures are ridiculous, man.
That's funny.
No, you said 78 times.
By the way, I love how 78 was commenting on your video, like it was a live chat.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, they got a lot of comments, and I'm looking down at 78.
That's funny.
He even started a whole new account to keep commenting.
79 points. Who is this? Yeah. Toy Chase says Simon is killing it, and then Toy Mirth immediately follows up with Simon's very suspicious. So yeah. Andrew Shadow says he's a cool dude.
He's cool. I met him.
Listen, we're giving all these shout outs. I want to shout. You guys are amazing, man.
Stop it.
Seriously, you guys have been doing the work every Wednesday. This is one of the few streams that I actually join in. That part of it is because I'm busy all the other days, but hey, you know what? I've got you guys on Wednesdays.
I appreciate that. We'll send you a patch.
I want the variant. I want the variant.
You want the variant?
I want the variant. All right. And by the way, those should cost more money.
It's so weird. Look at it.
Yeah, that's the one I want.
Like I'm 15 again.
It looks like AI.
It does look like AI.
It looks like you're 15, but like Venom's taking over your body.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You know what? I could never be that cool.
I'll give you guys a special. I think everyone has this impression of me that I'm this or I'm that or I'm too serious or I'm whatever or I'm a savage sometimes.
You said you were too serious. I want to know who's saying you're too serious.
So how I met these guys, we were at a Wayne Toy show, and this is a special story to me. I was there.
Get ready, guys. Let me crack another beer open.
Met the crew. And I didn't really get a chance to talk to Machucho and J-Shot. They were there, I think, with Yimbo or something like that, or probably Toy Chase, the mayor of
the mayor
of fandom. And so I'm there, and afterwards I'm like, damn, I was trying to buy Henrock's cousin's Bath figures because I just started getting into Marvel Bath. And I think I put it out there like, hey, does anybody have this at retail? No, I said I'm looking, and then J-Shot hits me up out of the blue. He goes, like, what parts do you need? And I go, oh, I need like a left leg and just a thumb and part of the eyebrow or something like that. And then all of a sudden J-Shot goes he goes, I got that. I'm like, cool. Let me know how much. He goes, actually, I got the whole thing complete. I'm like, okay. He goes,
wait a minute. He pulled one of those on me.
Yeah.
He pulled one of
those. He goes, I'll hook you up. So I said, okay, how much for shipping? He's like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, what? And then this is the dinger right here. Not only did he hook me up with this figure, a la carte or for free, he then sends me this little post-it with the drawing of Zemnu on it, and I was like,
Yeah.
I think I still have that saved somewhere. And I was
that's
like,
cool,
you know what?
man.
That's why I love this community. Like, not only for the free stuff, but the camaraderie.
Yeah,
That was special. Like, I love this community
yeah.
because of that. It is a lot of pure heart stuff going on in this community. And I talked about it in the podcast. This is the only community that's uplifting, that's super positive. And for example, these guys too, like, I was talking to Jace. I said, I started out trying to do a podcast. It was only audio. And he goes like, "What's up, my dude? You can come anytime you want." And he's giving me like words of wisdom and positivity. And I was like, damn, man, like that's what's up, man. I love that energy and like that positivity. Like, there's no the people who do beef in this community, I find that so confusing. Like,
Yeah,
I've never come across that. I came across a dude that was wanted by the FBI, and he was a professor. And I was like, okay, I can see why there's some weird people here. But outside of that, everyone's so like positive, man. Like, look at Toy Chase, that guy. He's gonna write like a biography of all like the photographers. That guy's so immersed in the community. Like, I love that. Like Yimbo, his hugs, his last hug was so powerful that like he hit me, he headbutt me, and I was like,
it didn't even hurt.
Touching my face, and I was like, for you, Yimbo, I'll take it.
Yimbo's hugs are so powerful. You don't even have to go to that massage place.
Yeah,
he'll hug you and he'll crack your back.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yimbo's hug was so strong. I'm going to chiropractor now. Like my lumbar.
By the way, I remember seeing that story with when you got the Zenmu, and I have to say, I when I saw the story, I messaged J-Shot, and I in a very heated DM, I was like, I really wanted that freaking Zenmu.
And I was like, since when? Nobody talks to me. Look, my whole thing is, I know. And George,
did you want the armadillo figure too?
No, I got that.
These guys started me on my bath. Well, Henrock's cousin was a Beast Boy or something like that, or Man Beast Boy.
Yeah, Man Beast Boy. Yeah.
Him and J-Shot made me go hard on these baths. Like, I ended up getting Hyde, Armadillo, you name it. And I even went back for an old schooler, the Magneto when he was Red Skull Magneto.
Onslaught? Yeah. Is it Onslaught?
Yeah.
I blame J-Shot for my bath too.
Yeah. And that video, I did a video of all these baths, and I got randomly like 2,000 or 1,600, 2,000 views only because I did a slow pan of all of them while I played Diana Ross's Mahogany. And the best comment I ever got on that was like, never did I think I'd be looking at a Marvel Legends review with the song Mahogany playing.
Man, like my whole thing was like, you were looking for it. I had it. I never used it. I never shot it. Again, it was one of those characters I didn't know. And George, same with you, right? You're like, I'm looking for this armadillo. And I was like, I'm not doing anything with these things. Some of these, they're just sitting here, and I get suckered into baps too. I'm missing a right arm for the new, I didn't even want this. I didn't want this.
But you know what? It's the principle of the thing. You have to complete it.
Right now, I got to complete it. So, especially with the bath. And I'm sure then, like, 6 months from now, Mark's going to be like, yo, anybody got Hydra Stomper?
Right.
I'm like, here you go, Mark.
I want Chud. What's the name? Chud?
Chode. Yeah.
Both names sound inappropriate.
It's a misfortunate name.
Chud was a horrible 80s, like, monster movie.
Yes, it was.
What was it?
Like, it stood for something.
Cannibalistic human underground dwellers. With a young, skinny, what's the guy from Roseanne?
John Goodman?
Yeah, skinny John Goodman.
Really?
Yeah.
Skinny. Wow.
I actually met Goodman in person. He's a lot shorter than you think he is.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I mean, Mark, I think you're taller than I am, and I'm 6 foot. And like I remember like him behind me turning around and being like this, like having to go, kind of thing. So
that's funny you say that. You know the actor from, I think, was he from Boardwalk Empire, the guy that was after the bad guys? He played Zod in the Superman movies.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Michael Shannon.
Yeah, Michael Shannon. He used to hang out at one of my favorite bars in Tribeca. It was called South's, plural, South, but plural. It was owned by an Irish guy, a British Irish guy, and a Texan. And Michael Shannon used to hang out there. And when I met him in person, I was like, this guy's short. He was shorter than me. And he was getting S-faced. He was like 3 sheets to the wind. And he was like challenging people to arm wrestling matches. That bar was funny. Like one day we'll talk about that. I met Mariah Carey's limo driver there. One time we got he was late to getting her to a gig. His name was Tom. He was a retired NYPD cop.
Wow. It's funny. It's funny that you used to hang out in Tribeca because I worked in a bar / theater / event space there for almost 8 years. So I spent
the knitting factory.
No, it was the Barrack Room, Tribeca Cinema.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that bar used to get a lot of theater people. Because not too far from there, I think there's a place called the Knitting Factory.
Knitting Factory, yeah. Not too far. I thought you were gonna say Walkers. You ever go to Walkers?
Come on, man.
Walkers. Right.
You got
Bubbies.
Yeah, Bubbies was the best. You got Ear In, not too far from there. That's more going towards like Don Hill's, that weird club. Yeah.
Kurt K says an actor, a Texan, and a limo driver walk into an Irish bar. I don't.
And they come out with Jay Shot and Mark.
And it's not just any limo driver though; it's Mariah Carey's limo driver.
That's hilarious.
And she came into the bar one day looking for her. Like it was like she lived on the penthouse above the bar.
Oh, she was.
Now it makes a lot of sense, dude.
Yeah.
Trash. It's the limo driver dropped her off in a parking lot, and she's like, "I don't want a lot."
Yeah.
And that's how that song started.
Yeah, that's when I turned the key and it's like, you see, now you can't leave. You know.
Yeah. Anyway, before Mark indicts himself, what's next? Like, have you guys already got? I know that you're talking about like filming the next 2 episodes back to back. Are you gonna start doing guests? Are you gonna start doing more reviews? What are you leaning
towards?
towards?
Guests lined up. So the cool thing about this studio is like I call it the newsroom. The first episode you saw, I call it the newsroom style. Mm-hmm. And mainly we chose that one for now because George was worried. He's like, well, what do I do with my hands? Because the other room is more loungy, it's like sofa setups.
Right.
It's more like chill and relax, and the microphone is not like you're not beholden to having it right here. It's like one of those, arm mics.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's cool. It has graffiti. It's a nice, fun spot. So
I didn't want to be like, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna sit on the couch and like, what am I supposed to do?
That's what the beer's for. You hold on to your beer.
Hey, you either hold on to your beer or you have it's a show and tell. So bring a figure.
Yeah, dude, that's why I have a coffee mug all the time. It's just something to keep your,
So we're going to have guests there live, and then we do have the capabilities to have a guest, come on during our podcast, like what would you call it? Like a virtual guest? There you go.
Sure.
Okay.
And eventually down the road, we are thinking about live streams, but for now, we like this sort of model because it gives us more time to have fun, be creative, write. Like if you're like, a lot of people don't know this, but Georgie Boy used to be a stand-up comedian, and so like when
I did stand-up comedy, you start saying I'm a stand-up comedian, people are like, wait a minute, I don't know, I've never seen this guy.
When you're a stand-up comedian, or like, and even probably Jay Shot can attest to this, you're creating content or you're producing something. There's a lot of writing involved.
Yeah, there is.
And as much as we can be visual creatives, there's a beauty to writing, right? There's because you're writing with the sense of trying to paint this landscape for the viewer, right? And it's fun. It's fun writing. It's fun putting this content together. And
granted, really, he didn't take any of the notes or anything that I wrote. He was like, "Nope, we're not doing that."
But you still wrote it, George. You still wrote it. We're proud of you for that.
"Yeah, no, we're not doing that." I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" But now,
that's because Georgie Boy was asking to thank the people of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints.
But again, like I learned a lot from this one episode. I think we're, like I said, they're just gonna get better, and we're gonna try to keep it a sort of a variety. I want to keep it within this community, you know.
Yeah.
But spread it out a little bit more, because we don't only talk about toys. Like Mark said, every once in a while we'll see a movie, a show, we should talk about that.
We got guests coming on. We have a very exciting apple picker coming very soon.
Ooh, perfect season for it too. Yeah.
So
Cool. So one thing I was thinking about, right, and talking about this, and Mark, you mentioned this a little bit. It's going to go a little bit away from the podcast, but still kind of within the realm of what we're talking about. Mark, you talking about how you got back into Marvel Legends. George, I want to figure, what was the first figure you remember picking up and kind of like getting you either back into collecting or into photography or something along those lines?
So the first figure that I picked up that got me like I've dove deep was probably the Mezco Vapor.
Really?
Good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Because you know what when I started looking into toy photography, right? I was a big statue collector. Like I have like Iron Studio statues, Sisal statues. I have a ton of stuff, man. You have no idea. Like I have like stuff the way because I don't have enough space for it, right? But when I came across the toy photography on the internet, I was like, what? I was like, that's a toy? And I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to do that. So the more I looked into it, before I bought anything, I saw people were taking photos with dials. People were doing backdrops. And then I kind of fell off a little bit into that. And I said, I'm not going to become a toy photographer until I do my first wall. Basically, I just want to do my first wall. And I did that first wall, and I use it a lot in my photography in early stages. Even now, it's the one with the gate and all that. But that led me to doing more dial stuff, more walls, and I was like, oh my god! Eventually I had to stop and get into the photography. But when I bought the Vapor figure, that's the figure that I would say like pushed me over the edge into photography.
Oh. Speak of the devil, he shall appear. Man, Beast Boy said, "What up?"
I'm pretty sure everybody you've mentioned has eventually showed up. So it's going to be exciting when Mariah Carey jumps into the shot.
We're going to get the driver.
Yeah,
with J-Shot. Yeah. But I had purchased like some Star Wars figures and maybe a couple of Black Series or whatever that I was testing out. But when I bought the Vapor, I was like,
that's the one.
This is the one that propelled me like into really doing it.
I think that's the whole purpose of Mezco. Like what got me back into collecting was, I think it was I mentioned is either Motu or the Ghostbusters, the plasma suit. Yeah, because I was buying toys for my son, Hot Wheels, and I said, you know what? Let me check what's in the other aisle. And then I felt like the Sound of Music moment. I was like, I saw Motu. I saw Transformers from the movie. I saw a G.I. Joe Classifieds. I'm like, well, why is it classified? I was seeing all these things that were like, this is my youth. Yeah. And like, then I was like, sorry, buddy. Maybe instead of 5 Hot Wheels, just 2.
I think that is because they know that our generation that grew up with all these properties, right, with all these toys at the time, are at that age where they have kids and they're bringing them to the toy aisle. And
well,
like,
they're
exactly
the ones on the other side of the fence.
Now I see grown-ups walking towards the toy aisle and I speed up.
I don't.
Did you guys ever do like a race with someone is like a scalper or like?
Oh yeah.
You're like you both walk in at the store, right? Let's say Target. And you look at each other. Like, I know what you're here for, and then you try to say, I know the shortcut to the toy section.
Right.
I see a lot of the vendors at Target now. Yeah, like the vendors that we see at the toy shows.
Yeah.
At the New Jersey toy
really?
shows. They're going to our Targets.
They're going to our Targets.
Like I said before, my Target is very bland.
Buddy. So yeah, I love now though too. Now that like you mentioned, right, Mark, where you're like, all right, I'm in the toy aisle with my kid. And you're like, all right, you get a Hot Wheel. So my favorite now is like my wife will sit there, right, and the kids will be like, oh, we're going to Target. Can I get a toy? And she'll be like, just because we go to Target doesn't mean you get a toy. And then I immediately turn around like this. What? Who's what? No, I can't put these back. They're new. Yeah. So.
And you know what's the worst?
Or you're holding the toys and you're telling your kids, no, you're not getting
Yeah.
any toys.
Just because we're here doesn't mean you get a toy.
Yeah, I never do that. Like if I get something, my son gets double.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
But like for me,
I just don't take my kids. That's it.
What I hate is like you'll go for something like my girlfriend hates it. She's like, okay, I gotta buy like milk, like real stuff.
Yeah. I do that all the time.
She goes, I already know where you're going. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm already like walking there. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, bye.
You're like, can't hear you, babe. I'm already in the
the worst thing is like when you're like legitimately going there for an emergency, like, oh, I need more air fresheners or I need more of this, like legit stuff. And then you're like, all right,
I'm already here.
Try. There's probably not going to be nothing here. Nothing. Right? There's going to be nothing. You're like, you're like, there's not going to be nothing. And then you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah. Oh, crap. I think I don't know if Kevin's still here, but when Kevin put up the post where it was like he was like writing to his wife where he was like I went to Target today and I didn't buy any toys. Aren't you proud of me? And she's like, did you get the toy for the birthday party? I was like, oh man, I've definitely been there. I've definitely been there.
But you know what's funny as a collector, when you like I think 2 weeks ago I had to go to like a kid's birthday party at Dave and Buster's. It's my friend's son. And I go, what does he want? What does he like? And sometimes I'm disappointed. I'm like, what? That's what he likes?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
But regardless of that, so for example,
he wants Monopoly?
Yeah, I'm like, are you sure he doesn't want this? It has 36 points of articulation. And so I'm like, the one kid was like, he wanted Sonic. I'm like, okay, that's not bad, So I go to the toy aisle, not trying to look for me. I'm like, no, I can't look.
Yeah.
And I found at first I was just like, they had the rinky dink, Sonic toys or whatever. But then I found one that's like from the Netflix series with all this articulation. And I was like, these are a little bit pricey, but I mean, you know what? The collector in me telling me this kid deserves the best. He's gonna get a Sonic. He's gonna get top of the line.
My son had a birthday party to go to, and my wife's talking to the mom, and she says, well, what's he into? And she goes, well, he just got into Ninja Turtles, and my wife broke out laughing.
Wow.
And she goes, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to find something for him.
Speaking of Ninja Turtles, you know what I saw today at Target? And I had to say no, even though I wanted. I did hide
turtle.
I did hide one.
Which one?
The Wanderer. The Wanderer is I guess no longer exclusive to Best Buy. They had a whole shelf full of Wanderers.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I wish I can, but I came for like like ramen and salt and
ramen and salt. That's a lot of salt, man.
No.
Dom did say I found my Nekatoon April at a Target in Vegas by following a heavy guy in a
Hawaiian shirt.
It's either a Hawaiian shirt or like a death metal shirt.
Yeah, Dom. Again, cease and desist, buddy. Stop following me. And then Uncanny Sculpt says, I'm going to be super broke once I have kids that want to collect like me. No, you just got to let them get jobs. Because listen, and I've said this before, and I will stand by this, child labor is better than child unemployment. So, just get them jobs. That's all. So, Bearded Builds is here. Sorry, Bearded Builds trumps everybody.
Bearded Builds, hey.
What did you, baby?
That's right, representing the Great White North, Canada, eh?
Great work too.
Yeah, luckily my son, he's not a hardcore collector, and I'm happy about that. Like he likes his Switch games, he likes watching his shows. Like he's not really into collecting. The newest thing that he likes that has him like, and I'm like, why is it $30 plus? These little like figs that have suction cup hands and feet, stick bots.
What? Those used to be like quarter toys.
Dude, you buy a pack of like 6 and they're like $30. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, you sure you don't want for $30 a G.I. Joe classified?
I think 78 points is replying to your comment about they deserve top of the line. So you bought some Revoltic Yamaguchi.
78 points of articulation is always like pushing me because of him. He pushed because of watching you. He put me onto Apex. He put me on to what was it? Hobby Lobby or Hobby? I can never
Hobby
get
Lobby. You keep saying Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Link Japan, Hobby Genki.
Right.
Hobby Link. There you go. Yeah, I got my first Spider-Man that way, and I was like, okay, I can see this. Like, I like it. It's hard because they're shorter than Marvel Legends. You're like, Jesus, this thing's like $100, and like
they're a little bit smaller. They're not as small as SHF is though compared to Legends.
And that's why I can't get into SHF.
See, but again, not all SHF. They've been getting the
taller.
You know, you look at the Venom. No, look at the Venom figure. Look at the Carnage figure. Those figures are nice and beefy, just like you like them. Oh, there we go. Figure. So you know what? I'm still waiting for Amazon to ship that, man. Everybody has it. Like Amazon doesn't have it yet.
Going through Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
George. Just go to the store. It's like 5 blocks from us.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
he gets it from Amazon because then he can send it back in the same box, but with just like salt and pepper shakers.
Honestly, I think by the time you get it through Amazon, if it's still available on a lot of these import sites, they're probably on sale.
Yeah, they dropped down pretty significantly.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And I mean, I know you got to pay for shipping,
right?
But cheapest shipping as well, like EMS or something like that.
Yeah, that's gonna take a while though. I think, right?
Yeah.
I usually do FedEx or DHL, which is probably like about $20 to $30 depending on the size of the box.
Oh wow! I use the cheapest shipping they have, man. I don't.
I want that right
I'm
away.
serious. I check off the one that's the very first one on top, $4.99.
George clicks the one that says, "Are you sure we're not responsible?"
It might not arrive. You might forget about it.
It legit says, "Hey, we're not responsible."
No, they basically transport it from what?
Pony Express. Is the Pony Express still an option? Yeah.
I was gonna say they ship it in the shipping container and then they take it off one shipping container and they put it on another shipping container and then they keep going.
That's going back to where it came from.
Yeah, it'll get there eventually. I like Man Beast Boy's comment here. It says, "Man, these kids today." I love his. He's like, I think Man Beast Boy is about 15, and he's already saying these kids today, with zero toys, all iPads, they're gonna be nostalgic over Roblox like we were Nintendo Mario.
And you know what? I will agree with him because you know what? I have 10-year-old twins, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll lay my stuff out to like photograph or whatever. I might even put it on the floor and they'll walk like right over like like that. It's not even there.
Yeah, my son would go into my home office / like collectibles room, and he would admire it, like like he's at the museum. But just recently, and it was like a proud moment, like. He took the Valiant Knight that I had on display by the TV during Christmas time, and I had an Arkham Knight and I put the McFarlane's gun packs on him, and he was posing then. He did some good poses. He did one with Valiant Knight, like with the shield and like the sword up, but the stick bot was on the sword. It was slowly sliding down the sword. Yeah. I was like, that's cool, but what made you envision this?
Yeah. You can't cross the streams yet. And then we also got 78 points says that he's going to get Cool Guy into SHF this year. So
there you go.
I got one SHF that I never opened. It was the Samurai Mandalorian with Grogu, and I have yet to open it. But
it's actually bigger scale.
Yeah, right. It looked like it was bigger scale.
If 78 is still on, what is 78's first name? Anyone
and your social and your social
yeah and your social and Bearded's calling you out, Macho. He says I've been hearing a lot about Machu's mane and man, it lives up to the hype. I was just thinking today too. I was thinking today, like Machu, you said you do your hair for the streams. I shower for the streams. Like I worked from home today and I was in a hoodie and a hat all day and I was like I got a show. I got to go shower at 6 o'clock.
I did notice that. that Moxie looked very Vidal Sassoon. So he looked very crispy Coco.
Yeah. I think those need to be a shirt, right? Where it's like, I showered for this stream.
Yeah. There you go.
If the camera is crispy, then why should my hair be so frizzy and like messed up?
Oh there you go. Damn.
You put out more, right?
Sometimes I'll just throw on a hat though.
Yeah,
see that. I like it. And I see you're a fellow whiskey man too, right?
Oh yeah,
nice.
Cheers,
dude. Since you're a whiskey man, check this out from Australia, mate. Starwood Twofold. This thing is
woo. It's woo.
Woo. So you being from Texas, talking about bourbons and whiskeys, did you ever have a Balcones?
Of course, man. The blue corn whiskey.
Blue
Come
corn
on,
whiskey.
man.
I actually like the smoked one. The other one.
Really? I like that one too.
The brimstone.
Actually,
yeah.
if you like whiskeys, you know who actually is killing it in whiskeys? Taiwan.
Oh yeah.
Taiwan is killing
And
it with
Japan.
whiskeys.
Yeah.
Oh, well, with Japan, yeah, we know that. Was it Yamasaki, Nikkei?
Suntory.
So FYI,
Whoa.
Bearded Builds knows 78's name, but he won't say it.
Oh, is that what it said?
Speaking of
I know
bearded
it's
Bills,
hard to
He was
say.
like 78 will kill me.
I like
need
I
a-
like Lago. I like Lago writing 78 ASL. Like that is how you know. That is how
Yeah,
you
Bearded
know.
Builds already knows. He did a sign for
Yeah.
Superqool. I want him to do our show and tell podcast sign.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait to see that.
It's a nice little trend we've started. I'll just say.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Shout out to Bearded Builds, which is very hard to write his name because it's B.E.A.
Whenever I have to send him a DM or I want to send him a reel, I just start with B, period, and then it pops up. Before I was like, "Where's
mine's
Beard?"
like Ficklets. I'm like, come on, yes, you got it. But man, that if you haven't gotten a sign from him or checked out his page, his signs are.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how it feels to be the only like Portuguese in Canada, but like that thing, he's representing out there, man. That thing is his work is like a spicy meatball. It's
Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, like it's beautiful, beautiful.
All right, so jumping back to your show and tell, I did want to ask about the frog. What's the logo? What's it mean?
We knew this was gonna come up.
It's so funny because I told him.
So
I told him.
So my thing is as a logo, like I specialize in branding, and a big part of that is logo designs. A lot of times I have corporate clients that don't really let me go too crazy, and once in a while I have clients that trust me 100%, and the crazier they let me get, the better. Like as George said, like you may see this, but inside I'm like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. You know?
100%.
And so, like, whenever I get a chance to do either a cool mascot or a cool logo, like that's look, I love what I do, and especially when I'm given free reign, I love it. So the frog in Japanese culture, because I think a lot of us obviously are into anime. Like back in the days, I used to watch Berserker, Vampire Hunter D, Ninja Scroll. Like, you know, a lot of us have that base, right? So this time around with show and tell, like the goal was that I kind of had the story in my head that, like, you know, back in the days I used to go to a lot of like antique stores.
It's gonna turn into a Ninja Turtle.
Well, yeah, I mean, I already envisioned it becoming a figure, right? So I already had that in mind. It becomes a figure, but in my mind, the scenario I had was that here I am at a thrift store or like some kind of antique store, and I found this like cool, like ancient book or something like that. And I like, what kind of imagery would I want the cover to look like? And so I started researching, like, you know, imagery. I didn't want to do the cliche dragon or the lion or, you know, all the other images we've seen. And when I looked up, like some, you know, with Superqool, I already have like this cartoonish, like, you know, Cuphead style frog as my mascot. And I said, what if I take it on a more serious level? And I started looking up, you know, Japanese like culture and like mythos and stuff like that. So apparently the frog represents two things. On one side, it represents luck and fortune, like good luck and fortune. And on the other side, a frog represents the idea of coming back home to things, you know, going back to your origins. And since I said once upon a time, I started out Superqool with a podcast, I said, it doesn't get any better than this. The frog is like, you know, my way of coming back home to what started all this. Because I was an admirer of collectibles, but I didn't get into photography probably until, not that I'm in it hardcore now, but when I got my first Mezco, that prompted that feeling, because everyone's like, if you want to do toy photography, you got to get a Mezco. And it's true.
And they all sound like that, just so you know.
Yeah,
they all sound like that.
But yeah, so that's the story of the frog. And we wanted to make it, okay, we have the story of the frog, but like, how can we make it like us? So we want to make a scene like, okay, he just had a fight, but he did it very lazily nice, just like, you know what, I'm just gonna chill here. Now we're gonna talk about what just happened.
So J-Shot, just so you know, I had the whole same conversation because I was like, dude, what is up with this frog?
About it.
Yeah,
because he said, when he first sent to me, I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
I think he sent me the wrong thing. You know?
I FaceTimed him. I was in my jockeys and I was on a lot of shrooms.
Yeah.
That's an episode right there. It's just
Yeah.
the definition of the logo.
Oh, I thought you meant Superqool in his bathroom on shrooms.
So did I.
I mean, I didn't say no.
Yeah, true. You didn't say no.
Yeah, and I invite Mariah Carey's limo driver as a guest.
Right, there you go. All right, so when you were telling that story, and I know that you mentioned you had been a collector and kind of come back to it, I really thought you were going to be like, basis of the show is going back to show and tell days, right? Like
it is.
Like,
it ties into
I
that
got
too.
a figure, and I want to talk about it. So what I planned is what is, if you guys remember, what is your earliest positive or negative show and tell moment?
Oh man, so many. So that was it too. Like, how can we as collectors come up with a name for our podcast that essentially describes what we do till this day? You know, show and tell was always, you know, like this momentous occasion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I still remember to this day when the teachers gave us the clear go ahead, like, okay, bring your favorite toy or be ready to talk about it. Oh boy, you know, I'll tell you, this is very vivid to me.
Yeah.
My first time that, I mean, there was a lot of show and tells before this, but Crocmaster, the original Crocmaster. I remember when I got Crocmaster, and I was third grade or something like that, and I said, I want to show everybody this Crocmaster. It's so special to me. And it came with a little rinky-dink alligator or crocodile. And I showed it to the class. And, you know, I'm a kid. I'm still playing with it. I'm like, yeah, guys, check it out. Crocmaster can do this. And he's going to eat your, you know, your junkyard. And, you know, and so the teacher goes like, I'm like, yeah. And she goes, yoinks. I'm like, huh? And she's like, I'm going to give this back to you at the end of school. And I was like, how dare you? And, you know, little Superqool Jr. was like already plotting. I'm like, all right, okay, you got me. And here I am,
podcast.
this little 8-year-old kid already plotting. How am I going to get that figure back? I don't want to wait till the end of school. So me and my friends play hooky from going to recess. I had one friend look outside the door in the classroom, and she hit it on top of the fridge because she knew, okay, I'm little, I can't reach up there. And so I put a chair there, got my Crocmaster, took everyone else's, toys that got confiscated. So I got a Crocmaster and the complete wave after that.
Oh, you didn't give it back to everybody else?
No, I sold it back to them.
He's a businessman. He's a businessman.
Always.
Supply and demand. Supply and demand.
Businessman.
Yeah.
George, this is one of the things that I learned about Mark. You know, you gotta be careful the questions you ask him.
Hey, yeah,
because it could be lengthy.
That wasn't that bad. We've heard.
No,
worse.
It wasn't that bad. So you're saying my moment during the process of recording the
no. Like when you were a kid going back to school and like doing show and tell, right? Like because that immediately when you guys announced the name, that's what I thought of. And similar, Mark, to your story, like I remember going into school with Michelangelo and showing him off, and the freaking nunchucks broke, right? Because there was that stupid plastic. And I remember it breaking like in front of my show and tell thing. And I remember the kids laughing and then being like, hey man, like you can't cry right now. Like I just remember that, like being so upset, but like knowing that I had to control my emotions on it, you know, just like that's the memory I have of show and tell. And I'm sure
when you guys were in school doing that, right?
Yeah.
I go so way back that they didn't even do that when I was in school.
I thought you were gonna be like, my first show and tell was a couple of string, and that's
nope. His first show and tell was during Prohibition. He was like, I gotta run this rum. Hey, let's screw the toys, boys. Get the rum.
Was that a spit take?
It almost was. It was close. It was damn near close. Damn near close. Prohibition. All right. Well, George didn't have show and tell. Machi,
I did not have a show and tell
story.
I think mine was the Toy Biz X-Men.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Those are
Do you remember
wow.
What figure specifically, or?
I had Cyclops, Wolverine, Colossus,
Cyclops with
Storm.
the
you brought them all in?
Yeah, I brought them all in.
Phew.
Damn,
Wow.
that's brave.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was very brave.
You didn't have
And
kids
then
like me in
Superqool
your
sold them
class.
back to you. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I had a lot of those Green Army men.
Oh yeah,
A
who did?
lot. I had a
I used to
lot
light
of those
my
Green Army
fireworks
men.
on them.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah,
I played
they
with
were
that
like
a lot.
indestructible.
Yeah,
They were indestructible. Yeah.
I played with those a lot, bro.
Did you ever get like the giant Green Army men? They were like almost 1/12 scale.
Nah.
No.
I remember. Listen, I remember the Green Army men. I remember I had a Voltron figure,
Yeah,
a
I had a
Voltron figure,
Yeah.
but it literally had like 2 points of articulation on it. The only thing you could turn was the head, right, and probably like the arm. That was it.
Yeah.
But I had that, and then it had like the little jet, like you press the button and the missile would pop out. You know.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had that. I have a figure that's my favorite figure of all time growing up. I don't want to say
Okay.
it here because I think I'm going to save it for the show and tell.
All right.
But
right.
it's
So you gotta
it's
tune
the
in.
figure that it's the figure that I absolutely this is, and I'm talking about we're going way back.
Right.
You know,
Right. When they first
way back.
invented points of
Exactly.
articulation.
Yeah.
one of the figures that I did have that I also remember playing with a lot was the Stretch Armstrong. I don't know if you guys remember that, the Stretch Armstrong, and you could try to stretch it as far, and then you let it go and it just
came back.
Yeah, it came back.
I
remember
honestly always wanted to cut one of those open. I always wanted to see what the hell was inside of that thing.
Well, I think
Yeah.
everyone always wanted to stretch it to the point to see if it would rip.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. The people like my brother would hold it, and I would hold it on one hand. We'd be like, oh, we just weren't strong enough to pop it, But I've seen a few of them pop.
You guys ever choke somebody with one of those things?
Just wrap it around their neck and be like, oh.
That's
Yeah.
not Bart. That's not what she meant. But bring some joy to them. That's not what she meant.
Do you guys feel like, going back to the whole show and tell thing, do you think that like one of the reasons why there's so many live streams and podcasts of like within the toy community, do you think it's like kind of bringing it back to like show and tell?
So
yeah, that's what this whole community is.
Right?
Well, the other reason I agreed also to do the show and tell podcast is because I know there's a lot of streams out here, but honestly, I think if the more we have, the more that we can put out there to let people know about this community, about what we do.
Right.
That's another reason why I did. I was like, you know what? Why not contribute to Jay Shot and Yimbo and the Pick Bar and all those other guys that are doing stream? Because we're really doing it to be like, hey, we're here, like this to check this out. This is really cool stuff the stuff that we have.
Yeah,
I mean, look at I'm into the toy photography, but look at these dial makers, man. I mean, dial makers, that's not just for photography.
Dial makers, people making bases, people making walls. Like, I mean, there's so many like nuances to this thing.
Yeah, I mean, they use dials for displays in people's homes, and they're not taking photos, but you know what? They love that. Let's look at my piece.
Yeah, our overall goal with Show and Tell podcast, by the way, at Show Tell Podcast. And follow us at youtube.com at Superqool Youtube. The overall goal with this is to kind of treat it like how we treat our chat room. We want it to be like this hodgepodge of like obviously have like a consistent flow, but we bring up the most random stuff on these chat rooms.
Here we go.
We kind of want to treat it as like a real life like
I read that on the chat. But do you see the one that Dom wrote right before that? That's hilarious.
I researched Armstrong with my cousin. Yeah.
Don't tell anybody else about that.
And Lago, you're right. It's like a gel. The Stretch Armstrong had like a gel.
Is it really?
Yeah. It had like a gel. Yeah.
Oh.
Lago turned it into like a Spaniard cuisine.
I was gonna say stay tuned next week as we rip open a Stretch Armstrong.
That would be cool. Like, what if we did like a Stretch Armstrong tug of war?
Oh God!
Do it.
At ToyCon?
That feels like a Legion concept.
Somebody do it. Bring a Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah. Chubsy, if Chubsy's still watching, go order a bunch of Stretch Armstrongs.
Right, guy.
Yeah.
Watch Toymirth come out of the blue with it, like yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Toymirth will be like, "Look at this amazing photo I did." It's like, come on, man.
It's like Stretch Armstrong, like.
Yeah. Am I stretching or just stretch me? Yeah. So.
You were gonna ask something, Jay.
No, I was just gonna say, George, to your point of like, bringing in and showcasing and highlighting people. It was something when we started, right? Like, and even you mentioned Yimbo. Yimbo was one of the ones that kind of pushed us to go, right? Because when we were starting, we were like, "There's so many people. We're just new to this thing," and Yimbo said it. Yimbo's like, there's room for everybody, right? Whether
Right.
you watch live, you watch recorded, and we say that every week too. Whether you're watching live or you're part of the replay gang,
Right. Right.
it's always appreciated. But that was something that was really important to us too. Where it was like, yeah, we wanna hang out, right? Like we're hanging out right now, right?
Right.
There's no like chill and talk about stuff and show stuff we can. But there's also times where you like want to bring new people in, and that was something important for us. That was like,
Right.
all right, we're gonna bring in Frankly Built. We're gonna bring
Right.
in, Babs Butcher, who's
Right.
call that the toy photography adjacent, right? Where it's still in that realm, but different people, just because there's so many different people out there,
Yeah.
whether it's a dio maker or a model builder, and
I mean,
things
Cole,
like that.
you guys, I think you've got has cosplayers on there and everything, right? I mean,
Cosplayers,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all within the same universe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collectors, just people who are collectors, right? They're just
Right,
whether they
right.
into it or not. So geekdom, fandom, and what I loved about doing that, and I think we're gonna get back to that too, is just like there's parts that you don't realize. That conversation that we had with Babs, where she talks about bullying and things. It's like it's something we've all dealt with, right?
Right,
Like it's
right.
so you're making connections on different levels. And I don't, certainly don't want to take us down a different path here as we're an hour and 15 minutes into the
Right,
show.
exactly,
But
exactly.
but it's like
And,
it's
Jay
a nice
Shot,
part of the community.
I apologize for bullying you.
No, it's okay. It's, hold on, let me call my therapist and cancel tomorrow's session now.
Hey, look,
no.
I have therapist paintings right here.
Yeah. The ink blot.
Yeah, here's a
What is-
Masco.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a McFarlane.
All I see is Gomez. I see Gomez everywhere.
All I see is pre-order heat now.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna limit my spending this year, like really. Even though I just told Mark right before we got on, Mesco hit me with already 2 emails that they're gonna drop.
Yeah, I got hit with
Green Goblin and Prune Face.
Yeah, I got hit with Doc Doom, which is still in my pile of loot, and I got a notification that the NECA Queen alien has arrived. And I'm like, I might have to say no to that. I don't know.
Look, man, I'm all for it. And if you can keep it going, but there are a lot of people right now in January who are like, I'm going to limit my spending. And then, I think Mark, even you and I were joking about that. Like, Mark's like, last night, Mark was like, I'm not going to buy anything this year, just Doom and the aliens coming, and then I think I want this, and I got to get.
Well, to be fair, those were pre-orders. I think we all go pre-order crazy, and then and these pre-orders never come at the right time. Like when you're like chilling and loaded, you're like, yeah, and then it's like when you're like, oh crap, I got to pay for this, I got to pay for this baby shower, I got to pay for that, and then you're like, really, NECA Queen alien, really now?
Macho just held up Dr. Doom.
Oh, you got it too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and let me tell you, this figure is absolutely amazing. This is beautiful. It is.
I think, did you just slip with a little exclusive there? Is there something you wanna let us know? You pay for a baby shower? What's going on?
Oh no, it's my cousins. No. Those collectibles will come later.
Those 1-to-1 scales, man, they drive you nuts.
I got my 7 scale right now, my little 7-year-old boy. So
nice. There you go. So, but yeah, man, like I said, we're almost an hour and 20 into this thing.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Again, I apologize that we started late and dealt with my technical issues, but obviously, anything last call, man, like anything you want to shout out, anything you want to talk about.
Yeah, let's shout out Toyworth. He's gonna have a good table coming up at the next show, apparently.
Yeah.
There we go.
We got to go early, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. What was it? What was it? He had like a crazy deal, right? Like
he always has. Listen, he always has crazy
really good deals.
Yeah.
Always. Like, I just got 2 figures from him recently that he mailed to me. So I mean, if you want deals, him and Henrock's cousin, dude, those are the 2 guys you gotta hit up.
Yeah.
They're the ones.
I'm willing to bet that Henrock will have Dr. Doom on his table in August.
Yeah.
I still want
after he shoots it.
Yeah, after he shoots it. That's what I'm saying, August. Yeah.
My grail right now is Death Dealer, but I haven't been pursuing that, because like I said, I've pumped the brakes, but also I just hate how blue they made his skin. It doesn't look like that in the painting. It doesn't look like that in all the other figure releases or statue releases. But that's one of those that, like, you know.
I think if you're really looking for it, I think Nose Rain's got Death Dealer up or put it up the other day.
Who?
So Nose Rain, Richie.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hydrox says never. How dare you?
Every time I think,
We'll see. He's gonna purposely wait till September now.
yeah, as long as it's not one of those deals where I want something and then someone says, "Yeah, I got it," and then they go to the back and get it and like tack on their price. Macho, I heard that story, man. I was like, yo, that was dirty.
yeah.
That was dirty, man.
That was a dirty story.
We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna.
Macho was like,
we're not gonna talk
how
about that.
dare you? Just because of that, I'm gonna buy a droid and put it in my driver's seat.
He's laying on the floor sleeping right now.
Oh my god, that thing is epic.
Everybody.
Besides, listen, guys. Besides plugging anything, I mean, it's just me on on Instagram, Agent Variant, and check out the show. So we're hoping it's only gonna get better. We're definitely gonna try and have guests, and you guys are definitely on the list. And we're gonna use the really cool lounge. We're gonna use the lounge area, so have something in hand because I'm gonna have something in hand.
Yep.
Something in hand.
There you go.
Well, we're sponsored by Montclair Brewery, so we'll have some brewery beers. But yeah, bring the whiskey
too. We'll be off screen. So
we got enough.
As far as shout outs, check us out at the Showtell Podcast. It's at Showtell Podcast. The website's not up yet, but that's coming soon. But yes, check us out, Showtell Podcast. If you want to watch the actual episode that's just been released, it's youtube.com/@Superqool with a Q. But yeah, as far as me, my plug, check me out on Superqool, and check out the company that I work with, Forager Brands. Because of them, we were able to do a lot of the graphics, the animations, the whole branding. They really hooked us up. It's me, a team of amazing designers and amazing, what is it, left brain or which is right brain is the one that thinks is all the admin people. I always forget left brain versus right brain.
It's opposite. Whatever it is, it's opposite. Right? If you're right-handed, you work left brain. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great team, and even in like me personally, people have hit me up. They wanted logos for their like sort of toy collectibles website. So feel free to hit me up, man. I'm all about this community. I'm not going to charge you the corporate price. I look. I'll say this again and again and again and again. The toy community, the toys and collectibles community, is the best community. Yeah. So I'm in. I'm all the way in. So just hit us up, check out the podcast. It's just going to keep getting better and better and evolving.
All right. Machi, you got anything coming up you want to
plug? What is it? The end of the month? Next week I'll be on The Enablers.
Nice.
Next Thursday. And
you'll be here Wednesday, right?
Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Periodically popping up on other streams. I got sent the link. Just slide down the stairs.
It would be cool that every podcast appearance he has, his hair just gets longer and longer.
Or different
the final episode, it's just all hair.
This
is hair. Cousin it.
That's it. Done. So
I just want to highlight this. Every time I think I'm gonna chill with buying toys, every company drops a pre-order of something I want.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
That's how it happens, man. I'm like. I went, I don't know, I feel like I spent my Christmas money, right? Like your kid in the candy store spent my Christmas money in January. And now I'm like, I know Holothon's coming in March.
I know. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to that. I hope it's just like, B-side figures that nobody wants.
I mean, you guys know my motto, right? It always comes back around.
Not NECA.
It always comes back around.
Not NECA.
It comes. I mean, look, they did the vault and they released a whole bunch of shit.
I mean,
a whole bunch of stuff.
They haven't released any turtles yet, which is making me nervous. So, I think this Monday I feel like is going to be the Turtle Monday, and I'm going to be like, damn it. So,
they always come back around. So
they do.
It's true. There's really no Mafex coming out right now, so you're good.
I'm good for that. Yeah. So,
well, listen, guys. Again, thank you very much.
Oh, cool.
What was the last comment that came up? I thought I saw a comment.
It was just Chubsy saying love always, guys. Good night. So Chubsy's
Shout
our
out
best.
to
It's bedtime.
Subsy. He's one of our sponsors. The guy's like family at this point. So
yeah,
he's like the godfather of the toy
he's the
community.
godfather.
Right.
Yeah.
We always gotta stop by Chubsy's after every show.
You gotta pay your respect. Gotta pay your respect.
He sounds like the godfather. He's like,
yeah.
You know, I'm gonna do something.
I'm gonna get you this pre-order, but one day I'm gonna get something from you. Yeah. So, but yeah, thank you guys, and congratulations and good luck with everything moving forward. We're we're excited to have you on, excited to see what comes next for show and tell. And we said this midstream, but it's true. Like if it's not for you guys, it's not for the community, it's not for you people watching live, watching on the replay, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't keep doing this. I've got an ego, but I don't have an ego that bad that I need to be on a live stream every week if nobody's going to be here. So, but I appreciate the hell out of all you. And Masu, let's cue that outro, buddy. Let's go home. Let's go.